Are you sure you're not wasting time with AI? A recent MIT study kicked up a lot of dust because it found that 95% of businesses see no real return on their AI investments. It's an impressive number, worthy of a critical look. But even with all the debate, the core question still stands. Are you one of them? Well, don't scrap your AI initiatives yet. According to different analyses, companies aren't failing because AI doesn't work. The vast majority of AI efforts today are isolated pilots that solve a narrow task, but don't reshape how work actually gets done. And if it stays this way, the returns will continue being small or non-existent. So before you launch the next AI experiment, ask yourself, are you automating the things that actually matter? GenAI adoption is moving faster than any previous technology shift, faster than cloud, mobile, or analytics. Boards are demanding visible wins, teams are experimenting in isolation, and leaders feel pressure to do something with AI, even if the foundations are shaky. You're probably under the same pressure right now, feeling discouraged about budgets flowing down the drain while no real optimization happens. The good news is that you can adjust the direction of AI initiatives and finally reach those promised results. There are a few questions to tackle first, though. Are you trying to automate chaos? Modern operations grow organically, not intentionally. A team adds a new tool because the old one was too slow, or approvals, once meaningful, multiply into rituals nobody questions. Collectively, these things create a workflow that no one fully understands and that no two people perform in the same way. And asking AI to optimize such a workflow is like asking a navigator to chart a route using half-finished maps drawn by different cartographers, which is why so many AI pilots feel like they don't change anything. Is your team only using AI for easy stuff? Ironically, many are enthusiastic about generative AI. After all, compared to other advanced tech, it's accessible to them, it has a wide range of applications, and presents visible improvements in life and work. But ask your team to give you examples of automations they've already incorporated, and you'll learn that most of them address small, local tasks, generating documents, searching, processing information. Helpful, but not transformative. And are executives' goals disconnected from daily work? Boards want big numbers and gravitate towards visible use cases, chatbots, shiny assistants, customer-facing tools. This focus creates pressure to greenlight as many AI proofs of concept as possible, regardless of whether the organization is operationally ready. According to IDC research, for every 33 pilots, only 4 make it to enterprise deployment. The reason isn't always the technology itself. GenAI POCs are generally being approved more easily than other technologies, largely because executives want to see how this applies to their business, and boards are eager to signal innovation. And this isn't just your company. Allison J. Pugh, sociologist at Johns Hopkins University, believes that most organizations deploy AI before they truly understand the work behind it. And according to the MIT report, that's why most organizations experience a similar pattern. While they don't lack the enthusiasm or the budgets to launch GenAI pilots, they rarely manage to convert them into workflow integrated systems. At AllTechSoft, we help companies turn AI from a buzzword into practical results. Our team supports everything from identifying automation opportunities and cleaning up processes to building custom ML models, copilots, and intelligent workflows. And to help companies avoid common traps, we redesign their workflows before putting the AI layer on top. So let's talk about shifting how you think about optimization. And we'll start by uncovering where automation can have the greatest impact. Roll up your sleeves. It's not going to be glamorous. Do you know how your workflows operate? Sorry, but you don't. Most teams think they follow the process, but the real work happens in the gaps, the workarounds, and the steps no one writes down. The question is, how do you uncover it? One of the things we at Altexsoft always start our consulting with is called opportunity mapping, and this is how we do it. If you ask both the managers and the people who do the work, which would provide the insight you think will be more relevant? The answer is obvious. While managers may know what should happen, only the people doing the work navigate the day-to-day friction and the workarounds. Their perspective reveals hidden inefficiencies and repeated frustrations that you can't get from reports or dashboards alone. So, gather the sales rep who manually updates the CRM, the support agent who has 5 tabs open at all times, and the analyst who knows exactly which tool always breaks. These people can give you the real story. Then, follow a single task from the moment it appears to the moment it's finally done. Not in theory, on a real screen, with real clicking, copying, and waiting. And this is where the truth usually hits you in the face. Someone switches tools 4 times because data lives in different places. Someone pauses because a manager hasn't approved a step yet. Someone re-enters data the system already has because the API sync hasn't worked for a while. Once you trace the workflow step by step, put every action, every handoff, and every friction point on a visual map. Patterns jump out. What are the parts people repeat 40 times a week? The tasks that take 5 minutes but happen 200 times? The steps that no longer make sense but persist out of habit? And just as important, highlight the moments that should remain human, decisions that require judgment, and steps that benefit from experience or nuance. Once we understand how work truly happens, the next question is deceptively simple. Can we safely automate this? Because behind even the most innocent task sits a knot of data sources, half-written rules, old integrations, and institutional habits nobody remembers setting, these fragments accumulate into a system where AI can't just plug in. It has to navigate. So here, we begin drawing actual guardrails that shape what the AI is allowed to touch. We start by following the data itself, where it comes from, who owns it, whether it's complete or only looks complete, what's confidential, what's regulated, what's personally identifiable, and, very pragmatically, what will cause trouble if the AI gets it wrong. Because that's the part nobody likes to admit. A workflow may look automatable, but if a single misstep triggers a compliance review or angry customers, it's not ready. Once these boundaries are mapped, the picture becomes clear. Some workflows are perfect candidates for full automation. Some can be partially delegated, AI prepares, humans finalize, and some should remain human for now because the underlying structure simply isn't ready. Not without fixing the permissions or redesigning the process itself. Now, with boundaries documented, where should you start? Most teams get this part wrong. They rush towards the most impressive use case, the one that will look great on a slide deck or in an internal announcement. But we're not doing this here. Instead, we open up our boring spreadsheets and break down every workflow into cost and value. For each task, we look at things like, how many times does this happen per week? How long does it take each time? The biggest tasks are rarely the biggest drains. They're the tiny repetitive motions happening hundreds of times across the team. Then we run the AI suitability filter. Some tasks are perfect for automation, structured, repetitive, rule-based. Others need a human. And many are hybrid, where AI can prep, summarize, or gather data, but the final call must be human. So categorize into 3 buckets. Automate fully, automate partially, provide decision support. Finally, score tasks by impact versus complexity. Ask, how much time will this save per week? How much context switching will it eliminate? How hard is the automation to build? Will this help multiple roles or just one person? See? These are your quick wins, your starting points. Are you now actually AI automation ready? Not quite, since we haven't solved our two remaining problems. How do you empower people to join this shift, not as passive users of AI, but as active operators who redesign how work happens? The difference between teams who simply use AI tools and teams who actually redesign how work gets done usually comes down to the fact that the latter have permission and clarity. Teams that simply use AI tools often don't know what good looks like. They don't know where the boundaries are. They don't know what's safe to automate, what needs approval, or what even counts as improving the process versus breaking something. So they stay in the safe zone. That's why they need permission to introduce change and clarity, knowing what the overall workflow looks like. For example, when a team maps their daily work end to end, they often realize that the loudest frustrations are caused by invisible patterns. Information that's constantly missing, approvals that always stall, manual checks that nobody remembers to question. Even without proposing solutions, just understanding the flow gives teams permission to think beyond their own desks. And when they finally do, ideas start shifting from AI as a tool to AI as redesign. Not, can AI write this email for me, but why are we sending this email at all? This is what real enablement looks like, not more prompt workshops, not inspirational town halls about embracing the future, but giving people clarity, ownership, and a shared picture of how work actually moves through the company. Now let's talk about the hardest part: leadership expectations. Executives aren't wrong for wanting ambitious AI results. They see the same forecasts everyone else does. Billions in projected value, entire industries reshaping. Of course they want those outcomes. But while leaders are looking at AI from 30,000 feet, teams are working at 1 foot from the screen. And the distance between those two perspectives is exactly where most AI projects go to die. So how do you fix this misalignment without slowing the momentum? You don't educate leadership or send long decks explaining why their vision is unrealistic. You give them something more powerful: evidence. Send them the end-to-end workflow map with real steps, real delays, real rework loops, and see the conversation change instantly. Suddenly, why aren't we doing something impressive turns into, why haven't we automated this bottleneck yet? There's a subtle human cost to AI optimization: over-reliance. People gradually stop understanding the workflows they're automating. Decisions that used to be deliberate become opaque. Teams lose the intuition that helped them catch edge cases. And when an AI-generated artifact is wrong, nobody is confident enough to challenge it. You see this with AI-generated summaries, code suggestions, test cases. Humans skim instead of read. The workflow becomes faster, but more brittle. So remember that optimization shouldn't mean disappearing from the work. It should mean understanding it well enough to improve it, with AI as one of the tools, not the default answer. Think you know what AI can do? In our previous video, we revealed how multiple AI agents interact behind the scenes, working, negotiating, and solving problems in ways that can truly change the game and shape the future of your business. Be sure to subscribe to never miss our uploads. See you in the next video.